I've seen people OD, I've seen people get shot in the head, people killed.
Deal with the pain when they cut the bones out. It was horrific.
Just because they're doctors doesn't mean they got the best interest for you. I hate to say that. Because that doctor didn't have his best interest for me.
I have that craving, but so many people out there do, and it breaks my heart. Like, when I wasn't on anything but cigarettes, and fentanyl wouldn't even...
Across cities like Phoenix and Tucson, more than 13,000 people are experiencing homelessness. Many live outdoors, not hidden away, but along sidewalks, desert edges, alleyways, and beneath overpasses.
My mom, she told me that she wouldn't be here for me until I was sober, and I told her that if you can't be here for me now, then I don't want you to be there for me when I'm sober. And I made it clear to her in that call that it was not about money, it was about being there for me.
This unfolds alongside growth and comfort. New buildings rise, businesses expand, and neighborhoods thrive, while people without homes exist just steps away, navigating survival in public spaces never meant to be lived in. These are not distant lives. They are people with names, routines, and memories, trying to endure another day. Why does a state with so much growth still leave so many without a place to live? Stay with us until the end as U.S. Homeless Stories shares the human reality of homelessness in Arizona. One, the current state of homelessness in Arizona's desert. Beneath the vast, sun-drenched skies of Arizona's deserts, homelessness unfolds as a deeply human story of quiet perseverance, where everyday folks push through the grit of uncertainty with whatever strength they can muster. Think of the early morning haze in Maricopa County, where, as of January 2025, 9,734 souls wake to another day without a reliable roof. A record high that speaks to the raw edges of life in this arid expanse. This isn't just a number, it's families huddled in makeshift spots along dusty trails. Single parents juggling survival with the hope of something better for their kids. Or elders reminiscing about steadier times while scanning the horizon for a place to rest. Over in Pima County around Tucson, the count hits 2,218, up 5.5% from last year, painting a picture of neighbors quietly slipping through the cracks amid the cacti and rocky outcrops. Their routines marked by the simple act of gathering what little they have to face the day ahead. And in the quieter balance of state regions, like the open stretches of Yuma County, hundreds more navigate the isolation of rural life without shelter, where over half of those affected rely on the sparse shade of mesquite trees or abandoned lots, their belongings bundled close as the sun climbs high, turning the landscape into a canvas of endurance. These realities touch a mosaic of lives, mostly single adults forging ahead alone, but also veterans carrying unseen burdens from service, families piecing together meals from whatever's at hand, and young people dreaming of futures beyond the immediate scramble. In Phoenix's bustling metro, where 81% gather seeking work in the shadows of skyscrapers, economic squeezes turn dreams of stability into distant mirages, with chronic situations surging as short-term hardships stretch into months or years of wandering. Each step a testament to the inner resolve that keeps them moving forward despite the odds. On U.S. Homeless Stories, these glimpses remind us of the profound humanity at stake, the exhaustion in a weary step, the flicker of determination in eyes scanning for opportunity, the subtle bonds formed in shared spaces that offer fleeting comfort, evoking a heartfelt ache for the simple joys of a place to belong and the warmth of consistency in an unpredictable world. What do you think contributes most to the rise in these numbers in desert areas like Maricopa County? 2. When weather becomes a constant challenge. In the unforgiving embrace of Arizona's desert climate, weather transforms from a mere backdrop into an unrelenting adversary, testing the limits of human endurance for those without shelter. The sun-scorched earth of Phoenix, where summer temperatures routinely exceed 110 degrees Fahrenheit for over 100 days annually, creates a blistering environment that drains energy and heightens vulnerability, leaving bodies weary and spirits strained under the ceaseless glare. A 2025 study by the National Weather Service highlights that in Maricopa County, heat exposure demands at least 70 minutes of respite in cooled spaces daily for basic recovery. Yet for the unsheltered, such relief is often a distant luxury, leading to profound exhaustion that permeates every aspect of daily existence. Even more alarming, data from Arizona State University's 2025 Climate Impact Report notes that Tucson's arid conditions, with humidity levels dipping below 10% during peak heat, accelerate dehydration rates by up to 50% faster than in milder climates, turning simple movements into laborious efforts for Pima County's 2,218 affected individuals. This harsh reality manifests in the quiet sufferings, the relentless thirst that parches throats and clouds thoughts, the burning sand that sears skin through worn shoes, and the endless cycle of seeking fleeting shadows amid vast, open expanses where mirages mock the search for solace. In rural areas like Mojave County, the nighttime drops to near freezing temperatures add another layer of torment, forcing constant adaptation to extremes that erode physical resilience and amplify a deep-seated sense of isolation, as the desert's silence echoes the ache of being exposed to nature's indifference. On U.S. Homeless Stories, these elements reveal the profound toll on the human spirit, the subtle erosion of hope when each day begins and ends in battle against the elements, evoking empathy for the unyielding grit required to simply persist in such a landscape. How does envisioning this daily struggle shift your perspective on everyday comforts? It's a gentle reminder that life's twists, like an unforeseen hardship, could place any of us in the path of similar trials, encouraging us to cherish and extend support where it's needed most. Through lenses like those on U.S. Homeless Stories, we foster a shared awareness that nurtures compassion, reminding society of our collective role in easing these burdens. If this resonates, AA Like helps shine light on these truths, and subscribing to U.S. Homeless Stories connects you to more explorations of resilience. Keep engaging with us to delve deeper into the heart of these American realities, where every insight builds understanding. Three, lack of water, sanitation, and safe spaces. In Arizona's desert regions, the harsh landscape turns access to water, sanitation, and safe places into an unending struggle, where extreme heat and isolation make basic necessities feel distant rather than guaranteed. Under the relentless sun of Maricopa County, the ground cracks and absorbs what little moisture exists, and for more than 5,000 unsheltered people recorded in 2025, finding a drink of water often means walking miles across Phoenix's vast sprawl. With only about 150 hydration points available across the metro area, according to 2025 data from the Arizona Department of Health Services, daily survival becomes a careful calculation. Empty bottles carried through shimmering heat, energy fading with every step. Sanitation presents an even steeper challenge in this unforgiving environment. In Pima County, where 2,218 individuals were counted in 2025, access to public restrooms and showers remains inconsistent. Local aid organizations report that over 60% of those surveyed go multiple days without proper hygiene, relying on wipes or improvised solutions. Dust and sweat cling to skin and clothing through long, sweltering afternoons, creating ongoing discomfort and reinforcing a cycle of physical strain and emotional fatigue that quietly shapes daily life. Safe and secure places to rest are just as scarce. In remote areas like Apache County, while makeshift camps sit fully exposed to strong winds and sharp temperature drops after sunset, personal belongings are spread thin across sandy ground, vulnerable to sudden weather shifts that test endurance hour by hour. Without shelter or stability, even rest becomes uncertain, turning nights into another trial of survival. On U.S. Homeless Stories, these accounts highlight the true toll of desert deprivation, where the lack of clean water, sanitation, and safety not only weakens the body, but slowly erodes dignity and a sense of normalcy. They serve as a reminder that unexpected hardships could place any of us in similar conditions, encouraging greater awareness and compassion. If these realities move you, consider liking the video to help share these stories, and subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories to stay connected with the human experiences shaping life across America. Four, mental health challenges in the homeless community. In the expansive deserts of Arizona, where the sun casts long shadows over urban streets and remote expanses, mental health emerges as a deep-seated challenge intertwined with the realities of homelessness, affecting lives in ways that touch on our shared human vulnerabilities. Without a stable place to rest, the constant strain of uncertainty weighs heavily, amplifying feelings of isolation and overwhelm that many endure quietly, day after day. This isn't about isolated incidents, but a widespread reality. According to the Arizona Department of Economic Security's 2024 report, updated with 2025 trends, 38% of unsheltered individuals across the state grapple with serious mental health conditions, and a number that rises to an astonishing 47% among those in chronic situations, revealing how these struggles can extend periods of instability in regions like Maricopa County. Even more eye-opening, in Pima County, where surveys counted 2,218 people facing homelessness in 2025, hundreds navigate these conditions with access to care often delayed by weeks, underscoring the barriers in areas like South Tucson that leave basic emotional needs unmet. The difficulties are profound and human at their core. Lacking a home means facing endless days where stress builds without relief, where the absence of routine erodes a sense of self, and where simple interactions become daunting amid the fatigue of survival. Hundreds find themselves pushed further into disconnection, and their inner worlds burdened by anxiety or despair that makes rebuilding feel like an uphill climb in the unrelenting heat. It's a quiet suffering, one that evokes a deep sense of compassion for the exhaustion of carrying these invisible loads without the anchor of security, highlighting how the lack of shelter strips away the small comforts that nurture well-being. On U.S. Homeless Stories, delving into these aspects brings to light the raw humanity involved, reminding us that mental health is a thread in the fabric of life that deserves gentle understanding, especially when circumstances like these heighten its fragility. What small step could we each take to foster more empathy in our communities? It's a gentle reminder that life's unforeseen shifts, a sudden loss, or mounting pressures could bring any of us closer to these experiences, encouraging us to build networks of support that recognize our common ground. Through explorations like this on U.S. Homeless Stories, we awaken a shared sense of care, where acknowledging these challenges invites us to contribute quietly to a more compassionate society. If these reflections stir something within you, a like can help amplify the conversation, and subscribing to U.S. Homeless Stories keeps you engaged with these heartfelt insights. Stay with us to uncover the fuller dimensions of resilience in America's everyday landscapes, where every layer revealed deepens our connection to one another. Five, pressure from rising housing prices and living costs. In the ever-shifting economic landscape of Arizona, the surge in housing prices and overall living expenses forms a relentless barrier, quietly eroding the foundations of stability for countless individuals and families. This pressure manifests in the daily grind where basic needs compete with skyrocketing costs, leaving many teetering on the edge of uncertainty. A 2025 analysis from the Joint Center for Housing Studies at Harvard University, focusing on Southwest trends, reveals that Arizona's median home prices have climbed to an astonishing $427,272, a level that outpaces income growth and forces tough choices in everyday life across the state. Even more jarring in Maricopa County, where the bulk of the population resides, rent increases have averaged 20 to 30% post-pandemic, contributing to a situation where over 100,000 affordable housing units are desperately needed but remain unavailable, pushing hundreds into the harsh reality of displacement each month. These escalating costs translate into profound human struggles. The quiet ache of watching savings dwindle. The constant calculation of what can be sacrificed next, whether it's meals, healthcare, or transportation. In places like Phoenix, the weight of these burdens amplifies feelings of exhaustion and isolation, as people navigate a world where the dream of a secure roof overhead slips further away, but replaced by the vagrant unease of temporary fixes and mounting worries. It's a cycle that strips away dignity, turning what should be a sanctuary into an unattainable luxury, evoking a deep sense of sorrow for the resilience required just to endure. On U.S. Homeless Stories, delving into these realities uncovers the raw humanity behind the figures, where economic strains touch the core of what it means to feel grounded and hopeful. What reflections arise when considering how these financial pressures reshape daily existence? It's a poignant reminder that life's unforeseen shifts, such as a sudden expense or income dip, could draw any of us into similar vulnerabilities, but fostering a shared sense of humility and urging us to recognize our interconnected paths. Through explorations like this on U.S. Homeless Stories, we cultivate an awareness that inspires gentle acts of support, strengthening the fabric of community where everyone deserves a fair chance at stability. If these insights stir something within you, a simple like can help amplify these voices. And subscribing to U.S. Homeless Stories keeps you engaged with more heartfelt examinations of life's challenges. Stay with us to absorb the fuller essence of these human experiences unfolding across America, where understanding paves the way for compassion. Six, Arizona, government facing the homelessness puzzle. As the heavy burden of rising costs continues to press down on so many lives, we now turn our attention to how Arizona's government is confronting this deeply human crisis. Behind the policies and budgets lie real efforts to bring relief to people who have spent too many nights wondering where they will sleep, carrying the quiet exhaustion of not having a place to truly rest. In late 2025, Flagstaff transformed an old hotel into the Lantern, creating 130 new transitional housing beds, giving hundreds of individuals a safe, dignified place to begin rebuilding their lives. Statewide, Governor Hobbs' FY 2026 budget proposed an additional $2 million for the Homes for Heroes program, with $750,000 already awarded in 2025 to help veterans across multiple counties find stable housing. In Phoenix, the city's FY 2025-26 budget expanded shelter capacity and support services in Maricopa County, where 9,734 people are still experiencing homelessness. Meanwhile, $13.5 million in eviction prevention grants has helped thousands of families avoid losing their homes, offering them a precious window of time to breathe and regain balance. These numbers represent more than funding. They represent moments of profound relief. For someone who has spent months sleeping outside, a simple bed, a locked door, and a quiet night can feel like the first real breath they've taken in years. It's the lifting of a constant, crushing anxiety, the fear of another night in the desert cold, the worry about safety, the shame of having nowhere to go. These programs are trying to restore something deeply human: dignity, security, and the basic peace of having a place to belong. Yet the challenge remains enormous. Resources are still stretched thin, and far too many people continue to face the daily reality of having no safe place to return to. The road ahead is long, and the weight they carry is heavy. How can we, as a community, help turn these government efforts into lasting change for those who need it most? None of us are truly immune. Life's unexpected hardships can shift our circumstances in ways we never imagined, but reminding us how fragile stability can be. On U.S. Homeless Stories, we believe these government actions deserve both recognition and honest reflection. They show that when society chooses to care, real lives can be steadied and hope restored. If this exploration of the human side of these efforts touches your heart, please consider leaving a like to show your support. And if you'd like to continue this journey with us, subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories so you don't miss the next chapters of these important American stories. Stay with us to witness the full depth of resilience and compassion unfolding across our country. Seven, solutions and new approaches. Evolving naturally from Arizona's structured government efforts, a wave of humane and forward-thinking solutions is taking shape across the state, each one designed to gently interrupt long-standing cycles of homelessness by restoring dignity and stability. At the heart of these initiatives is a simple but powerful belief. Housing is not a reward, but a foundation from which people can begin to heal and rebuild their lives. In Tucson, the Housing First approach brings this philosophy to life. Through city-led programs, immediate housing and engagement services were extended by 2025 to hundreds within Pima County's 2,218 unhoused residents. By removing preconditions, and this model allows individuals to step out of constant survival mode and begin addressing health, employment, and personal recovery from a place of safety, where hope has room to return. Another compelling example is the Society of St. Vincent de Paul's Housing 2025 program, which exceeded its goals by helping protect housing stability for 39,231 Arizonans. Rather than waiting for families and individuals to fall into crisis, the program emphasizes prevention, using diversion funding and rapid assistance to stop displacement before it becomes homelessness. In high-pressure regions like the Valley, this early intervention more than doubled its reach. In Phoenix, safe outdoor spaces have also played a meaningful role, thus supporting over 2,000 people in transitioning out of unsheltered living by 2025. These thoughtfully managed environments combine safety, structure, and access to services, offering not just temporary relief, but a first step toward long-term stability for people who have spent years without a secure place to rest. Alongside these larger efforts, smaller community programs quietly make a difference in everyday life. Rise Up distributes essential supplies in rural areas, while Keys to Change provides flexible funding that helps people maintain fragile housing situations during moments of crisis. Together, these initiatives show how compassionate, adaptable solutions, both large and small, can ease daily hardship, restore routine, and slowly rebuild a sense of possibility. On U.S. Homeless Stories, sharing these evolving approaches reminds us that homelessness is not a distant issue, but a fragile reality, shaped by life's unexpected turns, an illness, a job loss, or a single missed paycheck. If these stories resonate with you, consider liking the video to help spread awareness, and subscribe to U.S. Homeless Stories to stay connected with the human-centered narratives shaping more compassionate futures across America. Eight, conclusion, message. As we draw the threads of Arizona's homelessness narrative to a close, weaving together the intricate layers from mental health struggles and economic pressures to governmental initiatives and innovative solutions, a profound portrait of human resilience emerges against the backdrop of the desert's endless horizons. This mosaic isn't merely a collection of challenges. It's a testament to the unyielding spirit that persists in the face of adversity. Where thousands in Maricopa County's 9,734 and Pima County's 2,218 affected individuals quietly forge paths through uncertainty, finding sparks of hope in community ties and small acts of kindness that illuminate the way forward. Recent 2025 data from the U.S. The Department of Housing and Urban Development underscores this scale, noting that Arizona's overall homelessness rate has hovered at alarming levels, with over 14,000 people statewide navigating these realities. A figure that startles in its reminder of how widespread and human this issue truly is, touching lives in urban centers like Phoenix and rural expanses alike. Yet beyond the hardships lies a horizon brimming with potential for positive change, where empathy and action converge to uplift those in need. Imagine the quiet dignity restored when a stable home becomes reality, or the warmth of belonging that blooms from shared support. These are the good things we can foster for people experiencing homelessness, through programs that prioritize healing, opportunity, and connection. For the viewers who've journeyed with us, this exploration on U.S. homeless stories invites a deeper appreciation for the shared humanity that binds us, encouraging gestures of goodwill that ripple outward, whether through volunteering time, donating resources, or simply extending understanding in daily encounters. It's in these moments of collective care that we build a more compassionate society, one where no one feels forgotten in the vastness of life's deserts. In this spirit, let us hold a gentle hope, a quiet prayer for peace and renewal for every person facing these trials. May they find shelter, not just in structures, but in the embrace of community. May strength flow to them in times of weariness, and may doors open to brighter tomorrows filled with possibility and grace. This wish extends to all, acknowledging the fragile threads of circumstance that connect us, for life's unexpected turns could lead any of us to seek similar solace, reminding us to cherish and protect the stability we often take for granted. What small step might you take today to contribute to this wave of positive change? Through sharing these insights on U.S. homeless stories, we awaken a shared responsibility, where recognizing our interconnected lives inspires acts of kindness that heal and unite. If these reflections have touched you, a like shares the light further, and subscribing to U.S. Homeless Stories ensures you're part of ongoing dialogues that matter. Finally, from the heart, thank you sincerely to each of you who've stayed with us to the end of this video. Your time and attention mean the world, as they help amplify these vital stories and foster the empathy that drives real progress. Together, let's carry this message forward, embracing the good that awaits when we stand in solidarity.